Okay, so this is the summary of the video. I'm putting it first in case you don't want to watch the rest of it. Okay, so ultimately I fixed the trackball, okay, and you'll see that in the rest of the video and how I accomplished that. But so I got this off eBay for $10, and it had a few problems. The first problem that I noticed when I got it was that the connector had been cut off and rewired to work with I could only guess that they were trying to get it to work with an Atari ST or some Commodore computer to use as a mouse, and in the eBay auction it was advertised as an Atari 2600 trackball, which it's not. It was, well, maybe you could use it with the 2600, but I think this is the CX-80, and it was built for Atari computers. And I guess due to the chaos of Atari in the early 80s, they only made one game that supported the trackball, and that's Missile Command. And even then, you had to press Control T to get it in the game into trackball mode. Now, that's pretty sad that, you know, this is really a pretty cool device, but only one game, you know, that's not very good, right? So, but I went to on the internet, went to AtariAge and found a modified Centipede game. I think it was modified by Peter Mayer. I may be wrong about that, but he modified it to work with this trackball, and indeed it does, and I'll demonstrate that here in a second. But so even though right now this trackball works, I don't know how long it will work, because maybe it was the materials that Atari was using, but the circuit board is really flaky. The traces are disintegrating. I had to use wires to fix some of the ground points on the circuit board, and also repair the little circuit boards that had the Hall effect sensors on it to actually register the movement. So I guess the ultimate fix for this would be to either duplicate the design of the circuit board and have it reprinted, and then transfer all the components from an original to the new PCB, or what I would do is just use bodge wires and just completely bypass the traces on the PCB and solder them directly to the correct points on the board. That's really the only way I think that this could work flawlessly in the future. So I don't know how long this thing's going to last, but I'm going to come up here, view the screen, load up the modified version of Centipede, which you can find on AtariAge. Just look for Centipede modified for trackball, something like that, 8-bit computer trackball. Now you still got to go Control T, and let me see if I can zoom in here. Start the game. Works perfect. Perfect. Excellent. Look at that. Just like the arcade, man. Look at the camera. Yeah, just like the arcade. So, you know, that's what this thing is about. If you ever played the arcades in the early 80s, Missile Command, Centipede, you know, you would want a trackball. it's nothing else will do. You know, you need a trackball to actually play a game. You don't need it, but it's like the best way, you know, to play the games, the original games. So the rest of this video will be about me repairing this, and that's it for the summary. So the summary of the video, I fixed it. My final thoughts are that it's not truly fixed. To truly fix it, I would have to actually bypass every trace on the PCB and just have a bodge wire, because the PCB is disintegrating, and maybe it was due to the materials they used back then, you know, for this particular device. I don't know, but this is the only hardware device by Atari that I found that actually is like disintegrating. PCBs and all the other hardware devices they made seem to be okay. So, alright, let's continue with the video. Alright, so this is the Atari Trackball. It's in trackball mode. Goes up and down, but not side to side. Fire button works. So I'm going to try to fix it. So it was $10 off eBay. Alright, take the screws out of it. Just take the top off. Like that. Take the ball out. Like that. And take a screwdriver. Slip underneath this thing. This is the Hall effect sensor circuit board. There it goes. Okay. Yeah, that's the horizontal. I think the problem is the wiring. It's pretty old. I think maybe the solder joints may be just old. Needs to be refreshed. Now I'm gonna try it and see. So these bodge wires right here are just because the ground circuit is corroding. It's flaking off. So I put these bodge wires here to make sure there's a ground going to where it needs to go. Alright, so I think the problem is it's getting intermittent contact. The wires there. This. Come in here. Let's see. Just basically reflowing the solder. That fixed it. Move it up a little bit. Some alcohol. off there. Okay. Now, put together and test it. This has been quite the learning experience. Alright, zoom in. So, I have desoldered the switch at the back that makes it either trackball or puts it in joystick mode, just to eliminate that from the equation. Okay, in case the switch is bad, that could cause a problem. I've soldered new wires from the main board to the Hall effect sensor that controls the horizontal movement. Completely replacing these wires just in case. Still no luck. Still wouldn't work. So what I did was on the Hall effect sensor, there's a little circuit board in there. It goes around the wheel. In there. Seen it earlier. I reflowed the solder, put new solder to it, because I thought the Hall effect sensor was messed up. Doesn't appear to be. Okay. Turn this thing on. We get into trackball mode. Press start. Look at that. So I thought the problem was the Hall effect sensor, and I couldn't find a replacement online. But no, it's just I just needed to reflow the solder. So I'm going to put this back together and then see if it still works, because that's the test. Alright, it's back together. Let's see if it works. Game in trackball mode. Yes, okay. It does work. So the only problem with this thing was that the solder needed to be reflowed. You know, add a little bit of new solder to it, and that fixed it. That fixed it. It fixed it. It's fixed. Yay! So, if you got an Atari trackball and it doesn't work right, reflow the solder. Still need to reattach that button. Haven't done it yet. Or the wires to it. So that's the end of this video. Talk to you later.